Welcome to a new video in a not so sunny day here in Cologne, where I want to test out the Vivo X90 Pro Plus against the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So let's get started. So a bit of a gloomy day here, nevertheless we want to check out those two bad boys here. And as you can see, we have the Vivo X90 Pro Plus here against the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The Vivo featuring a 50 megapixel main camera sensor, a 50 megapixel telezoom 2x camera sensor, a 64 megapixel 3.5 times telezoom camera, and a 48 megapixel ultra wide. The iPhone having its 48 megapixel main camera sensor and two 12 megapixel cameras for ultra wide and 5 times tele. And then we have on the front the Vivo with 32 megapixels and the iPhone with 12 megapixels. And I think we start off with the front facing videos. iPhone 15 Pro Max, we know already, has a very good selfie camera, 4K 30, even up to 4K 60 frames per second, good stabilization, autofocus, so I can show you the lenses here without any issues on this device, and good microphone quality here as well, using the internal mics. What do you think about the iPhone 15 Pro Max in terms of color stabilization and so on? This is the Vivo X90 Pro Plus's front-facing camera. Sadly only 1080p, you can do 1080p 30 and 1080p 60, but if you want to have stabilization, like the good stabilization like I have here right now, you can only have 1080p 30. And yes, I am using the internal mics here of the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. Despite me having the microphone, I forgot the adapter to plug it into the phone. So this is the front-facing camera that you can expect here on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. What do you think? Now the video with the iPhone 4K 30 frames per second, of course I can have nice background blur with this large sensor here, though it is not a 1-inch type sensor. Though we have a nice features here, 4K up to 60 frames per second I can record with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I can go to the ultra wide angle as well if I want to. So this is now the ultra wide angle at 4K 30 frames per second. What do you think about this one here? And of course I also have the possibility to zoom in, so let's find something to zoom in onto. So there we go, the bridge of course. And yeah, I can jump to 2 times zoom, which is a crop on the main sensor, and then 5 times zoom, and then I can zoom in digitally up to 15 times. And this is how it looks like on the iPhone. On the screen looks very shaky, but I think it is very stable in the recording. Now recording with the Vivo's 1-inch type sensor, which gives you a nicer background blur than on the iPhone even. And what do you think about the sound quality here with the internal microphones, about the image quality, the colors and so on? Vivo claims to have Zeiss T-Star coating and even Zeiss colors here. What do you think about this one here? I'm recording 4K 30. I can of course also switch to the ultra wide angle, but I have a slider here, so I have to slide out the ultra wide angle. So this is now the ultra wide angle. That is not so wide as the Sony, the Apple here, the iPhone, I think. But what do you think? Because it's adding a little bit more stabilization here to the image. And yeah, let's walk a little bit and I will show you the zoom shot as well. 4K 30, because we have the possibility to switch between all the camera sensors here. So I can zoom 1 times. Now it's switch to 2 times lens, hopefully. And 3.5 time lens. And then it should go, and it's not switching lenses. So this is like a huge issue that I have with the Vivo, that sometimes it's switching lenses, other times it's not switching lenses. Let's try it again. So this is now 2 times it should have switched lenses, and now it should have switched lenses. But on screen it looks very, very blurry. What do you think about this zoom capability here on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus? Not so good. Is it Pro mode on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus? There I can choose 4K and the 3.5 times zoom, and then I'm able even to zoom in up to a whopping 10 times magnification. What do you think here about the Vivo and the 3.5 times zoom at 4K 30? Video comparison, iPhone 15 Pro Max against Vivo X90 Pro Plus. We start off with the selfie cam. We can see a warmer rendition on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, much cooler in rendition on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. You can see it here also in the green grass. A bit more realistic actually on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, but when it comes to detail retrieval, it's just 4K versus bad 1080p, I would say, on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. Here the Xiaomi 13 Ultra that only has 1080p does a much better, nicer job with 1080p front-facing video, where I would just clearly say this is a win for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Also with autofocus, yes, video is definitely a win for the front-facing camera. When we take a look at the main camera, this becomes also very interesting, because here I think also the iPhone has an edge. Even though it's not the blur, because the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, look at the background blur, that it just looks fantastic here, where the iPhone looks a bit soft here and there. If I go a bit further here, you can see it. It's not so great, and it's not so sharpened up, where it's a bit sharper here on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, but not over sharpened. But what we can clearly see here on the Vivo is a little bit too much contrast. The same kind of disease that we have with the Pixel 8 Pro, we also have here in this case with the Vivo, which is a bit of a bummer, I would say. And when I go to the ultra wide angle, just let me switch there to the ultra wide angle, we can clearly see that there is almost no competition here, because it looks bad on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. It's very soft all over the frame. Even if I go a bit further, you can clearly see my face is really not sharp there, and the background is very mushy. Yes, it's not the best condition, but the iPhone is way sharper here in the middle, and even the background is not so mushy. It looks, it's a bit soft towards the side, that's a given. But anyway, yeah, it looks way better on the iPhone, and it just looks worse on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, sadly to say so, but that's the fact here. And let's go to the zoom. So let's zoom in. This is now the 5x zoom, and here, yeah, you can see the disease of the Vivo that has the issue that it can zoom in video mode, and sometimes it is switching the lenses, other times it's not switching lenses. In this case, it's just doing a digital crop on the main camera sensor, which is totally bad, so not switching to the zoom lens. And I had to go to the Pro mode for this to do so. And here you can see much more contrasty look again on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, a bit over sharpened as well. This is the Vivo. This is the iPhone. Yes, the iPhone in general looks just better. Even if I zoom in a little bit more, you can clearly see that the Vivo is falling apart here. This zoom level where the 5x zoom is very noisy, but looks just a bit more clear. It doesn't have this colder, contrasty kind of look, super edited kind of look that we see here on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. So video is definitely something where I would say the iPhone is in a different class than the Vivo there for sure. Let's have a quick walk through the photos that I took here. We start off with the main camera sensor, and what we can see are a bit more punchy colors on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, especially here in the green grass, where the iPhone 15 Pro Max keeps it a little bit more real. What we can also see is a bit more kind of a contrasty look on the iPhone. Look at the bush here in the foreground. You can see there's much more black there. What you can also see is the 24 megapixels versus the 12 megapixels that the Vivo X90 Pro Plus is binning to. And yeah, this is working quite nice, though I think it appears to me that the Vivo X90 Pro Plus looks a bit sharper, but this has something to do simply with, if I zoom in a little bit, it's much softer, because the iPhone 15 Pro Max has the 24 megapixels, but is it really giving a bit of benefit? Yes, maybe, but it's not a huge benefit. And also I think it is like stretching it out a little bit, because this is looking a bit soft there for sure in comparison to the 12 megapixels that looks a bit, appears to be a bit sharper. Otherwise colors are the same. Also the sky colors is just simply this grayish kind of weather. There's not much of a difference there. When we zoom in, it becomes very interesting, because we have a 5x optical zoom on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, where we have on the Vivo a 2x zoom that also helps with portrait tremendously on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. Sadly, I didn't have much time with the iPhone, so I couldn't do any portraits that I can show you here right now, but believe me, the Vivo X90 Pro Plus's 2x zoom for portraits helps tremendously. Also, what we can see here is, of course, that they're looking almost the same, but we have a much more bluish kind of tint on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus in comparison to the more grayish kind of warmish kind of look. Then when we go to 3.5x zoom, it becomes very interesting, because here it almost looks like the same. Why is that so? Because the iPhone 15 Pro Max has 12 megapixels here, where the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, cropping in from 64 megapixels, has 16 megapixels to play with. So if I go to 100%, you can clearly see that they're almost looking the same from the picture that you will get, and it looks and appears to be a lot sharper on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. It is a bit of artificial sharpening, but also there's like, it's just clearer all over the place. So yes, the 64 megapixels, large kind of sensor, pixel binning down to 16 megapixels, can compete with the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 5 times zoom. Maybe not in terms of bokeh, if you have some closer subject that you're photographing or object. But in terms of detail retrieval, definitely the Vivo X90 Pro Plus is better than the iPhone 15 Pro Max with its 5 times zoom here, with the 3.5 times zoom, which really surprised me a lot. Then when we go beyond this becomes very interesting and apparent as well. There we can see that both falling apart a bit, and here the iPhone 15 Pro Max is winning against the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. This is now 10 times zoom both. The iPhone much more noise, the Vivo much more smoothed things out and a little bit brighter there as well. But when it comes to the detail retrieval and detail level, I think they're almost the same, with maybe a slight edge towards the iPhone. Look at this here, where we can see a little bit of more on this little church, a little bit more of structure that is just smoothed out on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. And also the tree there, which one would you prefer? Yeah, it's very, very close there, I have to say, but slight edge to the iPhone. 25 times. Different kind of view. The iPhone in this case failed because I had basically the same view as the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, but after I took the shot and later looked at the photo, it was showing this. So probably it was some problem with switching the lens or something like this. So it showed me something else on display than it actually took the shot from. It's a modern art contest here. The Vivo is smoothing things out. The iPhone is like completely noisy. Ultra wide angle is also pretty interesting because here I think we have a bit of darker shadows and a bit of different color rendition on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, where the Vivo looks a little bit brighter there. Otherwise, both feature, I think, almost the same kind of sensor. We can see here 14 millimeters on the iPhone and 14 millimeters on the Vivo, and interestingly enough, almost also the real physical photo length here, 2.6 versus 2.2, which is quite interesting. The Apple iPhone has ISO 40, where the Vivo has ISO 118, however, so this might also play in here a little bit in terms of noise. We have much bluer sky there, where it's much warmer here on the iPhone, and all over the place you can clearly see here this tower, for example, it's much warmer, the color, where the Vivo has it much cooler. Otherwise, details almost on par, not much of a difference there. Also in terms of sharpness and sharpening things up, they are on par. Look at the sign here, for example, and try to read anything. It is almost on par. When we go to the far edge, we can see chromatic aberrations getting very soft on the Vivo, so much worse than on the iPhone, which is quite interesting. So the iPhone seems to have better optics there, on this side at least. When you go to the other side, however, the iPhone is, I think, a little bit worse than the Vivo. At least on par there on this side. So we have a little bit like editing on both a little bit. As you can see here, sharpening things up a little bit, but both basically on par. Besides like the color rendition differences, there's not much of a difference otherwise. So I would rate them as equal basically. When it comes to HDR, pretty interesting because here, same scene, this is interesting, this fog there is actually rain that is coming towards us and the sun was like shining through it. This is why it looks like a little bit like foggy there. And I think in terms of HDR, the iPhone is losing against the Vivo because the Vivo is like brightening things up here in the foreground without any issues, where the iPhone keeps it very, very cool and dark actually. And it's pretty interesting because I think both doing a fine job there with the detail retrieval. Yes, the iPhone again is 24 megapixels. You can see the cathedral there in the background, Cologne Cathedral. You can see the AXA tower there as well that is currently on renovation. I think they're doing the balconies there, which is like one of the highest skyscrapers in Cologne, I think, and doing the balconies for I don't know how many houses there are, hundreds of houses, it will take a while. Anyway, yeah, in terms of detail retrieval and so on, yes, the iPhone has like the 24 megapixels, but not really an advantage there. I would even say here in the darker areas, we can see a little bit detail on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. So overall, I think the Vivo X90 Pro Plus has the better sensor there. And when it comes to selfies, very, very close again. I think a bit of better HDR on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus again, where it's not overexposing too much, where the iPhone has a little bit of overexposure there in the background. When it comes to details, you can see the rain is already falling. These are raindrops. Here also a raindrop. And you can see 32 megapixels versus 12 megapixels. But I can zoom out. 32 looks a little bit unsharp, but if I zoom out, you can clearly see that they're almost on par. We have a bit of a different rendition in terms of the blacks there. My eyebrows look more natural on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, as well as my hair, where the iPhone is a bit sharper, maybe a bit over sharpened, and more natural looking on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, because it doesn't have so much contrast and it's not over sharpened. So I like the Vivo here a little bit better, to be completely honest. But when we take a look at the rest, we can clearly see that the iPhone probably has an edge there, but it's very, very, very close together. And yeah, in this case, I would give the selfie, for photos at least, the selfie cam of the Vivo X90 Pro Plus a slight advantage over the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but it's very, very close, so close that I would even call it equal. And when it comes to the macro capabilities, both feature the ultra-wide angle for macros, and the iPhone can get a bit closer and it's still focusing, where the Vivo has its focus confirmation a bit earlier. And yes, the iPhone is a bit better than the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. And yeah, it is shot at least. And that's it already. Yeah, I don't have night shots for the iPhone or Vivo. I didn't have the time to do the night photos and night shots, but what I can tell you about is they're very, very close together. Again, the Vivo X90 Pro Plus has a better 1-inch type sensor that you can see at night times with a little bit less noise. The 5x zoom gets very noisy on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, where the Vivo is like smoothing things out a little bit more there. And yes, the 5 times zoom on the Vivo would look worse, but the 3.5 times zoom, as it's capturing 16 megapixels, looks almost equal to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is quite interesting. When it comes to longer zoom ranges, the iPhone wins. The Vivo X90 Pro Plus, I think if you have to summarize it, is better in terms of zoom, because portrait shots, I also didn't have portrait shots like I saw, but portrait shots are better with the Vivo because of the 2 times zoom lens. It's just simply, the iPhone cannot compete there, even if it's 2x crop in detail levels. Yeah, maybe, but the perspective is different, and this is what helps the Vivo X90 Pro Plus to shine there. So summarize it. The Vivo X90 Pro Plus is better in terms of zoom than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The main camera sensor is better. Ultra wide angle is equal. Selfie is better on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. I think the Vivo X90 Pro Plus has to climb up some rankings there after this little test. And this is all after the latest and greatest updates. I got like, I don't know, almost 8 or 10 updates after the last time I tested the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. So they really, really improved the image capabilities of the Vivo X90 Pro Plus a lot. Nighttime video now with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. What do you think about this one? Using the internal microphones here, walking towards the light right now. What do you think about this one in terms of stabilization, in terms of colors and so on? And I'm just crossing the street, going to the dark now with the light in the background. How does it look like right now? 4K 30 frames per second, but I think it is like changing the frame rate to 4K 24 frames per second. Now the light is facing me, dark in the background. How does it look like? What do you think? This is now the Vivo X90 Pro Plus at night, 4K 30 frames per second. I'm walking towards the light using the internal microphone. What do you think about this one here? Now I'm just directly under the light. What do you think about this one? Walking towards the dark and with the lights in the background. How is it handling this in terms of stabilization, colors and so on? And yeah, the car is passing by right now, it doesn't matter. What do you think about this one here with the black background, basically the light facing my face? And probably also sound taking up the car as well. What do you think about the Vivo X90 Pro Plus and in this situation here at night? Let's come to the summary and conclusion and my ranking here. TLDR, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is winning slightly against the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, 4.4 stars versus 4.345 stars. So I adjusted the Vivo X90 Pro Plus ranking slightly. Let's talk about the main camera. It is better on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. It's not hugely better on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, but most of the time you get a little bit sharper shots there, a bit more resolution, a bit more details there for sure. And also in low light, you get a little bit more details there. 4.7 versus 4.6. Ultra wide angle, I told you it's on par basically, but I was like not taking into account the ultra wide angle at night. I was checking again the Vivo X90 Pro Plus's score. It was 3.9 actually before. Why? Because in low light it just completely fails and falls apart, and this is why I'm giving it here maybe slightly a bit higher, because I think they optimized, especially when it comes to daylight shots. Also comparing with the photos before, slightly the sharpness and the rendition of the image. So 4 stars here, but the iPhone is better also in terms of macro photography, which is also utilizing the ultra wide angle there. This is why 4.2 versus 4 points. Zoom camera quality, 4.2 points on the iPhone versus 4.4 on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, because we have a dedicated 2x zoom that helps for portraits enormously, that the iPhone doesn't have. The iPhone, you have like this 5 times that you can use for portraits with nice background blur. Also, sometimes you don't even have to use the portrait mode. You can just use the normal 5 times to get nice background blur, which is quite nice. But in the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, we have, I think, the better zoom range when it comes to portraits, because we have the 2x zoom, which works tremendously for portraits. And then we have a 3.5 times zoom, 64 megapixel, that especially in daylight is just blowing the iPhone out of the water almost. It's just like giving you the same, at 3.5 times, giving you the same kind of quality as the 5 times zoom, even better than the 5 times zoom. When it comes beyond 5 times zoom, like 10 times and some such things, then the Apple iPhone 15 Pro Max is winning. However, I would say it's a very, very slight win, because it's more like a matter of rendition. The iPhone keeps a little bit more noise in, that also leads to a little bit more details that is like showing up there, where the Vivo X90 Pro Plus is smoothing things out a little bit more. And overall, I think also at night time, the Vivo X90 Pro Plus is winning there against the iPhone. Video recording quality, however, is a definite win for the iPhone. It's the same as with the zoom lens before. The iPhone is just simply better than the Vivo, especially when it comes to the front-facing video, but also the back-facing video is much too contrasty on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus for some reason. And the video camera quality is there better on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, even though the Vivo X90 Pro Plus has the better background blur with the 1-inch type sensor. Autofocus performance is slightly worse on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. I have still occasions where the main camera sensor is not focusing and it's telling me clean the lens, and I have to switch to the macro mode, then out of the macro mode, and then it's working. I'm not sure if it's a defect on my device, but I had 2 devices now, the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, and both having the same kind of issue. I don't think it's a hardware defect, or if it is, then it is some kind of a problem that they did not solve in 2 different devices that I have. Front-facing camera is a win for the iPhone, 4.5 times. I was calculating in the nighttime photos, which are so much superior on the iPhone than on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. The Vivo X90 Pro Plus suffers from lots and lots of noise there, and also has a smaller, tinier sensor without autofocus. And otherwise, HDR was a bit better on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, but the rest, the front cam, I think the iPhone is superior also when it comes to portrait shots, where the Vivo is just simply falling apart there with very bad cutouts. Camera UI is a definite win for the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, 4.6 points, one of the highest scores there, because you have like so many tweaks and tunings, and everything is nicely accessible on the camera user interface of the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. I like their user interface very, very much. In terms of extra features, we don't have much on the iPhone. We have much more on the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. Various different modes that you can choose there, and that can help you with photography that are not available on the iPhone. So this simply gives the Vivo X90 Pro Plus a high advantage there. Otherwise, points 4.345, and the Apple iPhone 15 Pro Max has 4.4 points. And this leads to an overall ranking. This is the ranking before, where you can see 4.32, and this would catapult the Vivo X90 Pro Plus now over the Google Pixel 8 Pro. Let's do this quickly. I forgot to update my ranking list. So let's generate this ranking list again and update here. Now you can see it. Vivo X90 Pro Plus here now over on top of the Google Pixel 8 Pro with the better main camera sensor, worse ultra wide angle, a better zoom camera, better video, good enough video recording quality. You can see video recording quality almost all on par. Autofocus performance slightly worse front camera for sure, better camera UI, better extra features, 4.345 points there. I have to still compare the Vivo X90 Pro Plus against the Google Pixel 8 Pro, but for sure now it looks like that the Google Pixel 8 Pro is slightly losing against the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. That might change when Google is updating maybe the camera app and fixing certain things. But where's the iPhone? The iPhone is here. As you can see here on the third spot, basically together with the Huawei P60 Pro, and a lot better than the Vivo X90 Pro Plus. You can see there are some others that are better than Vivo X90 Pro Plus. S23 Ultra, for example, only slightly better there, but still better, especially in terms of zoom. 10 times zoom is winning there. The autofocus performance is better. The front camera performance is a lot better there. And yeah, the rest is a little bit worse. However, yeah, this is, I think, in terms of ultra wide angle, they're both not so good. Better is also the Honor Magic 5 Pro, made all the Huawei's and the Xiaomi 13 Ultra as well. What is your opinion? Write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.